5D already exists. It is already here. And this is how we shift to a 5D timeline. We have to stop reinforcing and re-engaging with the old world. We've got to stop trying to preserve the false matrix and instead realize that we're here to purify it. The world that I'm talking about is the one where you look up in the sky and you say, oh my gosh, look at all of that, almost helpless, almost hopeless, as you look up in the sky and you say, look at all of the pollution. Look at all of the stuff that's in our sky that I wish wasn't there. And then you start to maybe get outraged about it. It's normal, it's natural. But there comes a time when that outrage begins to validate and perpetuate the very reality that you came here to alchemize. We forgot that we're alchemists. So instead what we tried to do was we tried to break down something that already exists instead of transforming something that already exists into a higher version of itself, a higher reality. To do that, we shift our own consciousness. Yeah, I know. There's a world of people right now trying not to do that. There's a world of people right now trying to shift the external world so that they can feel internal peace, forgetting that their internal peace is what they came here to shift the world with. We have lived in a false matrix for so long. We keep trying to do things backwards. We keep trying to change the external world so that we can have internal harmony, internal peace, internal meditative states, because the external world now finally allows us to live there, now finally gives us permission. You guys, that's not how it works. Well, it is if you're enslaved. If you're enslaved, your reality tells you what to feel. If you're powerful and if you're free, then you shift how you feel because you take responsibility for it. There's a world right now that we live in that's blaming everything on someone else, waiting for someone else to fix it. If only they would fix it, right? And I agree with you. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could walk outside into those pristine, sparkling blue skies? Oh, and just see that, just see blue sky and feel the expansiveness, feel. Can you smell it? Can you smell the fresh air, the harmony? The birds singing, nature returned. That freedom, that openness, well, it exists already. That's the thing that we forgot. Those blue skies, they already exist somewhere in the world, maybe even in your world, and you're just not yet tuning in to them. And so when you look at that stuff in the sky, you can so easily step into your outrage, so easily demand that something be done. And what you're doing when you do that is you give your power away because you're saying, somebody's equipped to fix this. It's just not me because this is bigger than me. If you remembered who you were, which is what we've all come here to do, so it's okay that you don't start out remembering who you are. You're going to land up remembering who you are. But as we get closer and closer to 5D, which is what's happening right now, New Earth starts poking through. 5D Earth starts poking through. Eden starts revealing itself. That's my word, right? A lot of people talk about New Earth. It sounds a little bit New Agey to me. So I tend to refer to Eden. But honestly, you guys, if you've worked with me for any length of time, you will know that it's not about the name. It's about the vibration. It's about the frequency of the place, of the energy. One day we're going to learn, oh my God, we were so worried about the words that we used, but we forgot that the entire language was a corrupted language that we came here to purify by our presence with it, to stop being defined by the words and to start defining the words. Look at it. Look at how backwards we got spirituality. Of course we did. We lived in a literal inverted matrix. So that's totally understandable. So as I speak to you today, I don't want you to use what I'm saying to give yourself license to judge yourself and to say, oh no, I'm not there yet. Instead, I want you to look at what I'm saying today and say, wow, look at where I'm going. Look at what we collectively are becoming. Yes, we may all have started out in outrage and wanting to change the external world. It's just not our role. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples today. One of them is this. Many years ago, I worked with well, I've worked as an interspecies communicator for so much of my life that I was working in wildlife rehabilitation for many years. I've worked with dolphins, I've worked with whales, I've worked with elephants, I've worked with baboons, I've had the owls, genets, good Lord, the list is forever. Caracal, oh, what beautiful creatures. There's a long list here. But one of the most amazing things that the dolphins taught me was the power of personal responsibility. There were people that were at a dolphin swim one day. And these were incredible dolphins because these were once wild dolphins that were captured into a swim facility. And they had the consciousness, therefore, of remembering who they were as wild dolphins, right? And at the same time, they understood there's a soul choice here. They didn't go into victimhood and pity and outrage and say, my God, we have to be set free. Why aren't we being set free? They said, this is where we are right now, and we're going to be in the best right now that ever there could be, and we're going to impregnate the air, the frequency, the space around us with the beauty of where we are. But guess what? The humans couldn't see it. The humans kept coming into the space the dolphins were creating and saying, oh, those poor dolphins. Oh, they've been captured. Oh, they must feel terrible. Oh, the pain. Oh, the misery. Oh, the suffering. So what did the dolphins do? When they were around humans like that, they were like, oh my God, what is this? It's the equivalent, you guys. Imagine if you've got a little bit of a flu, right? Imagine you're a little bit sicky, you're a little bit fluey, and somebody comes to you and goes, oh God, you poor, oh, I can't even look at you. Are you okay? You are not okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sad. It's kind of crazy, right? And that person's going to start crying, and that person's going to start picketing and being outraged and telling the world that you need to get better. And that reinforces the idea that you can't heal yourself. And it reinforces the idea that you don't have any power in your reality. And it reinforces the idea that there is a very big, heavy, deep, dark reality, and it's powerful. That's what we do when we reinforce darkness. But don't take what I'm saying as, oh, so we've got to ignore the darkness? Hell to the no. We're alchemists. Alchemists don't ignore anything. An alchemist will look at the darkness and say, wow, look at what I'm here to transform. Huh, how amazing. This is mine. This is mine because it's my sky, it's my world, it's my dolphins, it's my whatever it is that I am busy observing. This is my reality. And I'm going to contribute to my reality by sheer merit of the fact that I'm in it. I'm going to contribute to it by how I see it. So when I see humanity, or a sick person, or a baby, or a giraffe, or a dolphin, or a baboon, or a sky, or an ocean, when I see that and I see its potential, regardless of how it's showing up right now, it can show up as sick, toxic, polluted, whatever the case might be. It's my responsibility to observe that with compassion. And then what else is there? What else is there? Let that be your motto. Okay, I see what's going on in the sky, but what else is there? What other miracles are there? Because I want you to know this. There are miracles that you cannot see. And every time you feel helpless and hopeless and outraged, there are miracles that you cannot see. Play that back. Remember it. Maybe save this video. Because this is what you need to remind yourself. But there are miracles that I can't see. Let me give you an example. We're very blessed where we live. The skies are very, very clear. They're very, very blue. They're very, very pristine. But we also live very close to a city. So we can quite easily see the alternative. We can quite easily go just a short drive away and see skies that are lined and that are polluted. Let's use that word. And both exist, right? I want you to please be aware of something though. Where there is that pollution, there are galactic beings clearing that pollution up. There are 5D elemental beings in the sky called sylphs, S-Y-L-P-H, sylphs. They're like little Devic kingdom beings, almost like a little sky fairy, if I could call it that. There are so many beings clearing the pollution. There are areas of the ocean regenerating and no one can understand why. But you have to have the eyes to see it. You have to have the eyes to tune in. You have to have the eyes. You have to be available to 5D vision to see it. And sometimes you've got to see it before it's there. Sometimes when all you see is a crisscross sky and it's so dark and it's so polluted, you have to then close your eyes and feel what you can't yet see. There is a 5D world that exists. Now, when that's difficult, it's difficult because you can't feel that 5D world inside of you, and that's fine. You don't have to start out being perfect. You only have to start out being real and being authentic. And what is your inner world right now? Just tune in. That's step one. Where is my inner world? Tune in there. Tune in to your inner world. That's getting real. That's getting powerful. That's getting brave. That's not being in denial. That is therefore not being entangled. That therefore is not being stuck. So when you tune into your inner world with authenticity, it's not to wallow in it. It's to rise above it. It's to purify it by being aware that there is also a higher version of you. You guys, this is the work that I teach in my online community, the Plasma Light Tribe. I have a course on my website called Forever Starts Now. So if what I'm saying speaks to you and you're going, but I need to learn more about this, it's very available to you. The deeper teachings about alchemy, I can't share those with you here on YouTube. As you can hear already, I'm dancing about my words. So understand that there are some things that need to be shared in a much more sacred space. The work is there for you though. The beings that you share the planet with, there are many of them that are tuning in their 5D vision. They're learning to get into that authenticity that I told you about a moment ago within themselves. And from that authenticity, they're learning how to bring in higher truth, because higher truth is authentic. Do you see how powerful authenticity is? It's like that's your base point. That's your starting point. Because if you're going to get real about who you are, then you also have to get real about the fact that you are already 5D. You are already infinitely powerful, spectacularly beautiful. You have to get authentic and therefore inclusive of the higher presence that is you. And then you start to bring that in. And when you do, alchemy happens because you start to dissolve the toxicity of thought. You start to dissolve that which you've been harboring and holding that is of the old world. We were all programmed to belong to the old world. We are literally living through a miracle. We are the miracle. The miracle is that we're bringing higher frequency into the lower frequency world. This is how we dissolve the false matrix. So there are two skies right now. And whichever one you see somewhere else in the world, someone's seeing another one. You're seeing a polluted sky. That clear sky exists and someone is seeing it. Just be happy for them. What are most people going to do? They're going to go, but why aren't I seeing it? Oh, I'm failing. Oh, I'm weak. Oh, I'm powerless. Oh, I'm dissolving into my ego. Because those are all ego states, the self-judgment. Learning gratitude is a really powerful way. Look at the simple things I'm telling you guys. What? Authenticity. Look at how powerful that was. Gratitude. Look at how powerful this is. Gratitude is when I can look at my world and say, wow, for example, I live at the ocean. I can see a lot of pollution. A lot of pollution. And I can do the same thing. I can go into outrage and pain and horror and torment and the pollution. And it's pretty easy for me to do that some days because I can literally stand at the ocean and watch people litter at the ocean. It's kind of infuriating, but at the same time, that really challenges me then. And it's good to be challenged. It's okay. This is how we grow. This is how we switch on our 5D vision. And then we start to purify. I start to feel the elementals in the ocean. I start to feel the beauty in the ocean. I start to feel the life force in the ocean. I start to feel 5D radiant ripples moving through the ocean. What am I doing when I'm doing that? I am restoring the ocean. Do you have any idea the relief that the ocean feels, that the air feels? When you stop viewing it as dying and deathly and toxic and polluted and start viewing it as transforming because somewhere it is. That's why I said to you earlier, whenever you look at something, the sky, the ocean, a person, and you see what you don't like, just have gratitude. Somewhere in the world, the opposite exists. Even if I can't see it right now, now I can start to tune into the fact that there is an opposite, that this pristine world exists. And when I can't see it, then I have an invitation to feel it. Then I have an opportunity to truly tune into my power You didn't come here to preserve the false matrix by demanding that somebody cleans up the false matrix. You came here to be something that is far beyond the false matrix. And when you allow that to happen, the false matrix dissolves into a higher version of itself, which we call 5D, Eden, New Earth, pick a name. Your power is so enormous. Your ability to alchemize energy is simply something that you haven't yet been taught for the most part. But that is what we're learning. That is how we shift into a 5D timeline. We shift into a 5D timeline by turning on our 5D vision, by feeling and getting real and authentic with the world that's inside of us right now, so that its higher world can reveal itself to us. Your higher self wants to reveal itself to you. Love wants to reveal itself to you. Beauty, divinity, God, and God's world wants to reveal itself to you. Sometimes healing just begins with one simple word. In the Plasma Light Tribe, we use this word so often, you guys will know it. I say to you, just feel the word yes. Just feel the word. So it's not say the word yes. Feel yes. Yes does this. Yes creates an opening in your chest. Yes, I'm willing to be loved. I'm willing to let love in. I'm willing to see beauty even when darkness exists. We're so exclusive. We're acting like we can only see beauty when darkness doesn't exist. But that's not what we came here for. We came here into the darkness to see the beauty that wasn't even yet born, that wasn't even yet manifest, because we knew we had the 5D vision to tune into ourselves first. Now, you guys, there are going to be people upon this planet that will be so addicted to the low frequency world that they've lived in, that they will not be part of the ascension. And that's okay. Doesn't make them weak or bad or failures by any means. It's simply their sole choice. They will be people. Because what we're doing right now on our timeline is alchemizing it into a higher version of itself. My teachings about the two world split, let me summarize it for you. At the ascension point, which is a great solar flash called a micronova, at that solar flash event, we ascend into 5D. Here on this planet, we go nowhere. The planet shifts into a 5D planet. At that point, all, A-L-L, all pollution, all toxicity is evaporated into or dissolved into the 5D world. And then we can say Eden is birthed, but a better way to say that is it's just returned to our vision. Because it actually didn't go anywhere. It's been here all along. We just couldn't tune into it. There will be people, though, at that ascension point that say, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready. I don't want to. I'm not finished. And I would still like to experience that world. That world was still busy teaching me. The old world, right, was still busy teaching me. Those people at the ascension point will perish. They will not stay around to be part of the 5D reality, but they will then go into a new life, into a 4D planet where they get to repeat this, just at a higher level. 4D looks very similar at the beginning rungs of 4D because everything is multi-octaved. There are so many bandwidths within 4D, within 5D, etc. So they're going to go into a lower 4D planet, which looks very similar to the 3D world that we've lived in, and essentially repeat this just with less constriction and parameters that afford them more ease of growth and greater access to teachings about alchemy. So there will be people, you guys, who will never get that 5D vision tuned in because it's not what they're here to do. They only will be able to, don't fight with them. They're only going to be able to see the pain, the torment, the horror, the darkness. They're going to say things to you like, only when the monetary system is dissolved, only when all animals are healed, only when the sky is purified, then we can have 5D. You're going to know, no, it doesn't work that way. Because then we're just giving our power away to some external authority instead of being the internal authority for our own inner world, not realizing the enormous enormous power that one human being has who's taken personal responsibility for the purification of their internal world. So those that aren't willing, ready, able to work at that level, they leave our planet at the ascension point. They take a new life, new body, new name, new identity, new memory, and they move off into a repeat, essentially, just a much easier repeat. So it's kind of like repeating a grade at school, but just with a much better teacher, a much easier way of learning and growing and evolving. That's absolutely available. The skies are being purified. There are 5D beings clearing those skies, and those skies already exist. The ocean already exists in its pristine state. And there will be days where you flip-flop your vision. In other words, where you may very well see a whole lot more of the old world than you would like to. Don't bring your judgment in. Remember what that is. That's just an opportunity for you to deepen your access way to the 5D vision, which means feel the 5D world, which means get real with where you are so that you can alchemize where you are. Just this last Friday, somebody in one of our live calls asked me this question about, how to, basically, in a nutshell, how do I heal and how do I get over where I am right now? Because I want to move, into a happier, healthier relationship, happier, healthier world. And I said, you cannot move beyond where you are until you are where you are. It's such a simple teaching. And yet, it's so life-changing and so profound. I remember the first day that I taught that to the Plasma Light Tribe. Oh God, this was easily a year ago, maybe even more. You cannot move beyond where you are until you are where you are. The resistance was huge. The resistance was, but I don't want to be where I am, because where I am is in pain, where I am is in turmoil, where I am is in whatever. We shift where we are by, number one, connecting to it and getting real with it. And number two, allowing for the interchange of alchemy to take place. Because if I'm real about where I am right now, I have then to make room for the me that exists in the same authenticity, but a higher realm. Authenticity gives me access to that higher realm. And I want you to have that access too. The invitation's open if you want to work more deeply with me. I would really suggest Forever starts now. I would really suggest it's a 6-week course. It's very affordable. It's on my website, in my online shop. That might be really the best place for you to start if you feel called to work at a deeper level. If you're not there yet, that's also okay. Wherever you are, bring acceptance to it. Even if you're bringing acceptance to, but I'm down right now. Acceptance doesn't mean that you're going to entrench it. It simply means I'm not fighting against it. I'm getting real. And in that realness, you open up the door for what else is real. What else is possible? Now, I want to leave you with this. What else is possible for you? Now, today. And I don't want you necessarily to name 10 things. I want you instead to feel, remember that lovely word, yes? Just feel, ooh, ooh, ooh. What else? And whatever else there is, it's expansive. It's beyond where I am right now. It's a higher frequency to where I am right now. It's an elevation from where I am right now, and I say yes. Why don't you do that in the comment section? Type it, but feel it when you type it. Please don't just say the word yes. Feel the word as you type it. Feel the power of the yes, I'm available. Yes, I am open to the expansiveness of being that is me. The where next, the how next, the what next. We've lived in such fear that we didn't even want to take steps forward, you guys. There are people that have said to me, I don't want to know what's next because it might be bad. That is being so plugged in to the pain and the torment and the trauma that you can't even imagine that there's a world beyond that one. But there is, and the world beyond the 3D world is a 5D world. It is that you're tuning into. It is that timeline that you shift yourself into every time you take the time to more deeply entrench your inner world in authenticity, in peace, in harmony, And while you're busy saying yes, you guys, why don't you also say yes to love? Just yes. No excuse, no reason. No outcome, just love. But love doesn't have to give you words. You can just let yourself be in the presence of love. Guys, when you're in 5D, there are so few words. I know that this conversation is going to have a lot of people asking, but how does she know? Who is she to speak about 5D? There's a video that tells you how I know, and I will link it in the video description box below. From my heart, all the way to yours. So much love. I hope you feel it. I hope you say yes.